And we're back. What's up, everybody? Benja Welldone coming at you live on this beautiful corona-free day. Slightly warm out too, but regardless, it's beautiful. Today is Tuesday, May the 25th at 3:53 in the afternoon. How are you doing? So, professional sports, the last honor. What do I mean by that? Well, here's the thing. I was doing some thinking the other day, and I realized that a meritocracy is a system based solely off of the best, the brightest, the strongest, the fastest, whatever. That's the idea, okay? And I truly believe, now just to caveat this, I don't even like professional sports at all. I don't care if the ball goes on this side and then on that side and then on this side. I don't care, okay? There are extremely intelligent, strong, athletic, hardworking individuals that not just do it for recreation, but do it for a professional level. But here's the catch. Professional sports, to me, is the last honorable meritocracy system of work-related job that you can get in the world. And here's the reason why. Nowadays, between politics and celebrities and entertainment and artists and all sorts of other stuff, always talk about giving other people opportunities, other people of different... Oh, phone dropped. It's all right, I'm good. Yeah, all right, keep rocking. Other people of certain sex and gender and stuff like that. So, for example, if you're an actress and you were to be acting a part of a person that's gay, somebody in the real world, okay, in all truth, might be offended if you're not gay portraying a gay actress, which may have a negative turn if you're an extremely famous actress, which could make the film better. And if there's enough uproar, okay, then maybe they won't do the film, or there'll be a lot of shit talking. Gosh, there's so much rain. All because you're not gay and you want to be an actress, okay? Now, I'm leading to a point. Professional sports is so pure and honorable in the fact that if you're black, if you're white, Hispanic, or they don't care. They look at numbers. They look at your stats, okay? Of course, they want you to be like a team guy. You know, they want you to have good cohesion with the team and everything. But if you take the best, most strong, athletic, intelligent people and you put them together and you say, this is going to be our football team, there is a purity in that. My wife's calling me. Just a second. All right, like I was saying, there's a certain purity to it, okay? And the purity is the fact that whoever works the hardest, whoever is the strongest, the fastest, you can remember your routes for the football and how you're throwing it and how you're catching it and how well you listen to instructions and how disciplined you are. You stay out of trouble. You're an ambassador of the sport. People want to come watch you, okay? These are all contributing factors that make you successful. And none of it, zero, aside from that hard work, will help get that football that I don't care about, or that basketball that I don't care about also, or whatever the case may be, go from that one side of the court or field to the other. It all comes down to hard work. Now, the reason why I say that's the last profession that it actually matters in is because, like I was saying, if you're an actress and you're, you know, if you're portraying a role that is something of not your character, they might get offended because they want someone in real life to basically portray someone because they feel like you're stealing it. That's the beginning process of taking away your hard work. Perfect example, if you got a job, okay, if you were black, if you got a job, okay, it would be offensive to say you only got the job because you're a diversity hire. What does that mean? Okay, let's just say if you were white, doesn't matter. If you were hired solely because you're not good enough, but to fill a quota, that's fucked up. First off, that's an insult. But second off, it's also reality. Okay? They had a story in the news the other day that there was a black guy who had a very, very successful business. It might have been in Atlanta. I'm pretty sure it was. But it was some sort of a car place where people could get their cars fixed and put new wheels on it. And he had great employees. But because of the law, he had to let at least, it wasn't 50%, but it was it was some sort of a majority percent of them away. Okay? He had to basically just let them go and hire them with different races of different ethnic structures. And it didn't really catch wind on the news that much. But this guy has a great business, and essentially it was these rules of having there be an equal cohesion of optics, so it looked like there was a fair representation of every race at this guy's auto body shop. Okay? That by law he had to hire them because he had too many black people working there. What's wrong with black people working in any business at excess? Just as much as there shouldn't be a problem with Hispanic people or white people or any other people. Okay? It is getting to a point now to where you will get into a school if your grades are good. But you can also get a free scholarship and have bad grades and get into that school if you're a particular sex, ethnicity, race, cultural background. And that's a real big problem, because the thing is, there was also another news article that actually talked about there's this big race diversity thing that's happening with educational institutions, universities, colleges, etc., you name it, where basically Asian people by culture are very big into education and being conservative and stuff like that. I had to take my phone off of the little clip that I make videos on. It was getting too hot. But my point is this: why does it matter if someone, if you have too many Asians in a college? Okay? There's a rule now, because Asians are so culturally smart that they test into colleges, and the news report was just basically saying that if every Asian that applied, now keeping in mind, okay, Asians, China alone makes up 25% of the world's population, okay, and 50% if you include India. So that's real math, okay? Which means statistically, they are so smart. If all the Asians decided to, and I say that ambiguously without any country being specific, but the news report was basically saying that if every single Asian, China included, okay, that's Asia, were to apply to U.S. universities, that based solely off of merit, which I'm completely for, there would be only Asians in every college, going from community college all the way up to the private university level. Now, for diversity reasons, it is harder for an Asian guy or girl, whatever, with better grades than someone of lesser grades that's white, for example, to get into college because of what their race is. That to me is racist. Okay? But why isn't it talked about? I'm not straying off too much, okay? But my point is this: I think if every single college was filled with nothing but Asians, what would that make other people do? That might make white people, for example, and I don't mean to bring race into this, but this is just an example, say, okay, I don't speak for my whole race. However, I need to get smart. If I know this and it's constantly harder and harder to get in, I need to be smarter than them. Okay? And it's not a me versus them thing. But when it comes down to it, if like that's what's going to make a nation smarter. That's what's going to make people work harder. That's all this stuff about you getting opportunity based off of the optics of what your race is, or your sex, or your gender. This is how not just art, but intellect and everything else gets suppressed. That's again why I said professional sports is pretty much the only thing nowadays that is solely based off of merit, and that's highly unfortunate. That's highly unfortunate. I mean, if nobody got to go to college, it means that those colleges are accepting the best and brightest. Wouldn't that be some shit if the world was a meritocracy and you knew that if you got there, wherever you are, even especially if it was entertainment, okay, you didn't get the part because something happened recently on the news to a certain sex group or sexual orientation group or race or something like that, and you got an opportunity based off of your hard work, not as a way that society pays you back for something and gives you this job opportunity or this opportunity to go to college or something like that. Everybody would be working off merit, and that's the way I believe it should be. Now, you could always say, oh, well, those rules were implemented in the first place for maybe for race or sex or for equality. I get that. I think that rule was implemented at a day and time when people were so overtly racist or sexist or anti-gay or whatever, anti-Jewish, you name it, okay? But it wasn't being publicized. And now that people know that, people are also using it as a weapon. People are saying they're not getting a job in acting because they're not this or they're that or whatever the case. Or you don't ever hear about any of this stuff in professional sports. Okay? I guarantee you, if an employee knew that you were going to make them more money because of your skill set, you're more likely to be hired. If you speak Spanish and you're black and you want to work at a Spanish place and you can speak Spanish, you will get hired. Okay? But wouldn't it be great that you got that job based off of your great Spanish skill set? Not because you're a diversity hire. Wouldn't that be great if a white guy knew that he got into college because there wasn't additional smarter people? Okay, you earned your way into there. This is not race specific. This is world specific. Okay, and it's absolutely insane the things that are going on now with not just what people get. You also start a culture of people trying to believe like they deserve something without working for it. No race entitles you, or sex, or gender fluidity, or whatever you want to call it, in my opinion, entitles you to anything that you have not worked for. I don't think there is any successful person out there that teaches part of their training model, okay, teaches you if you're this race, you should get more in life, okay? Because when it comes down to it, I'm not black, I'm not brown, I'm not green, I'm not yellow, I'm not any color, okay? But I know, at least I want to believe in my core, that if I work hard enough, okay, I might not be a certain race, I might not be a certain sex, I might not be this, but if my body of work is ideally being worked out of meritocracy, out of hard work, when it comes down to it, it isn't going to matter how I look, okay, or what my political views are, or something like that. But people are being canceled now if they're Republican, if they're a Democrat. They won't get the job, they won't this, and it goes on both sides, okay? But in my core, part of my core belief is that when you are excellent, you will rise to the top. And that is my skill set. That is my core belief, and that is what I work for. Because I truly believe that regardless of all of these insane methods of hiring, of the entertainment industry, it's complete hypocrisy. Nobody that's successful is going to teach someone, okay, to expect better results based off of something that you didn't work for. It's plain and simple. Okay? The first go-to in your world should be you. Not the color of skin you're wearing or the, you know, the type of sex you represent. And if you want to, you can do that song and dance, and you can be a multimillionaire and successful and everything else. But there's good and there's great. And when you work for merit, you separate yourself from the common to being amongst the uncommon. Great with the greats. No person that is on that legend status that got met with diversity, part of their great story is, diversity or not, they overcame it, and they weren't given it. They forced it to happen. And that's what I do. I force things to happen, and for every opportunity that I don't get, okay, I push harder, because you can't keep greatness down. You can't keep excellence down. If you think, if you act, if you do as great, you will have great outcomes, and you will be great. However, if you don't work for what you want, and it sounds insane for me to even say this, if you don't work for what you want, and someone works harder than you, okay, they might get the job, they might get the opportunity, they might all this, but that's the short road. The long road is, you will outlast them, you will outperform them, and you will continue to rise up and above. Okay? I had a really interesting conversation with a buddy of mine the other day, and it just made me do a lot of thinking, and I realized that even though I don't care about sports, there is such a purity in knowing that they got there based off of hard work, and what a far fall from society the rest of the world is in relatively every profession, entertainment, art, etc., you name it. Okay, so with that being mentioned, everything that I say is so you can always understand a little bit more about not just how I'm doing. And oh, shout out, I got a great comedy announcement coming up. Really excited about it. I'll be doing 25 minutes. It's really awesome, and it's a really big deal to me. But yeah, essentially everything that I do on this channel, I try to have people understand how I think more. That way when you see me on stage, you don't just feel like you essentially know me more, but you also see when I make certain references of something, even if it's unrelated, where I come from in a certain structure of my thoughts to get to another point. You know what I mean? So yeah, the way I figure it is, the way that you understand how people sort of shape their opinions based off of certain things, and then how they shape their opinions based off of certain other things. If they say something completely unrelated, you could sort of see, if you know them personally, which I'm trying to have you guys know me, how you came to whatever conclusion that person came to a conclusion to. So anyway, with that being mentioned, I love you all. I hope everybody has a beautiful day. Yeah, just think long and hard. Would you like one day to know that it's harder to get into college now, but if you get in there, I mean, what if America led the tech world? You know, if all of the best tech stuff is made over in Asia, and they came here, this would be the tech land. Okay? And if you really want to be a part of that field, work harder. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a big proponent in it. And that's the reason I love the purity, but to me, sports are boring. You know, I love combat sports and stuff like that. Boxing, kickboxing, you know, UFC, stuff like that, you name it. So anyway, with that being mentioned, I'm Benja Welldone. Have a beautiful day. thank you for listening. And just be sure to check me out. Announcement to come next week. Later, guys. Peace.